Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna stop what you're doing for just a second and you're gonna look me directly in my baby blues because I have something to tell you. It's very important. Deji, yes, younger brother of KSI, comedy shorts gamer, said he wanted to taste KSI, which was a little weird. I think he was talking about Prime, but I'm primed and ready to tell you guys one thing and one thing only. Deji might be the new Floyd freaking Mayweather. Okay, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but Deji does have new sparring footage out right now and he is gaining a whole nother level. Yes, that's my Key and Peele reference, deal with it. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is Deji is purposely dropping little hints of him training, hitting mids, and now he's dropped a sparring session in which he shows once again he's getting comfortable being confident. That word, confidence, it can change a man's entire life. It can take you from swiping up Simp Boy on OnlyFans, looking for that right picture to, well, use in your private time, to the ultimate Rizzler, stiff-arming girls left and right to keep them off you because you ain't got time for women, you're grinding right now. And in the case of Deji, it's taken him from a guy that didn't care enough about the sport or himself to even train, even though he's naturally talented, to becoming what we all knew he could potentially be. Dangerous. I'm gonna explain what I mean by picking little things, little nuances in this sparring footage to highlight for you guys. But speaking of picking things to highlight, before we get into the breakdown, let me introduce you to today's sponsor of the video, Prize Picks. That's right, guys. Prize Picks is the easiest, fastest, and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. Members predict more or less on between 2 and 6 player squares of their choice. And these player squares consist of all types of different sports: basketball, baseball, hockey, or our specialties, MMA and boxing. The more picks you get correctly, the more money you win, and the payouts can be 25 times your entry. So like I said, make your picks, put your entry amount, and wait to get paid. So guys, download Prize Picks today and use code WADE when you sign up for up to $100 in deposit match bonuses. That is 100% instant deposit match bonus when you use code WADE. So click that link down in the description. And guys, one more reminder, please play daily fantasy sports responsibly. Thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring this video. And now let's get into the breakdown. So like I said, Deji has new sparring footage out and he's getting better every time we see him, legitimately every single time. And I think he took some things from Floyd Mayweather in their fight, the good things, not the scamming people and smacking up his ex-wife things, the actual things you want to take from a fight. And using his confidence, he's implementing him into his game little by little. What do I mean? The breakdown. Let's go. Oh, big jab. Okay. Already with it. Hold on, I wasn't ready. I was not ready, Deji, for all that smoke, baby. Come on. I just want you guys really quickly to open your eyes, okay? Because you guys might have Sierra missed what I just saw. And yes, I said Sierra missed because behind the pops and the bubbles and the carbonation and the fizz, there's some really good stuff here. And I gotta definitely run that back so we can see it. All right, so Deji comes out, boom, jab, right? And moving into range behind the jab. Goes again, nice feint. Even though dude slides out of frame like you when you're flying through pictures on your phone trying not to let your girl see that one you saved. Boom, jab coming into range again. Now this time, old buddy tries to counter, Deji gets under the counter. And I don't know if it's just because momentum is bringing him in, but it does look like he sees the shot and gets under it. Because right here, he might be dead to rights. He lands his shot. But my man is also a southpaw, which is kind of interesting that Deji is sparring southpaws. Keep that in mind. But he also wants to throw back over the top. And when he does, Deji, again, maybe it's just him coming into range, but I think this is more of a natural movement for him, because he's now seeing shots a little better. He gets under that shot, and when he does so, he lands a left hand to the body as well. Hard to see, but he actually does sneak a left hand through there. And then he's back to range on balance. Maybe the feet are a little too wide, and maybe he didn't necessarily mean to get under that shot, but he did mean to get his head out of the center line. He did come off center line, change his level, land a shot, get back to where he needs to be, ready to throw again. That is what I'm talking about. The confidence not only to go and throw that shot, but to stay in the fire when things are a little heated, right? The confidence to throw the jab is one thing, but the confidence to follow up and right here, not just back out of range. How many times have we seen Deji throw one shot, get back out of range? Throw this, throw the body, very, very hesitant, right? Not necessarily taking advantage of the space he gained or being able to stick his nose in there and say, you know what, I might take one, but I'm gonna land this piston down the pipe. He's starting to do that a lot more. Boom. And again, this is the biggest shot that Deji could land with his left hand here. It was more so, again, reframing, but just seeing the movements and the confidence to stay in range there, something I'm impressed by. It's not the greatest thing in the world, and I'm going to nitpick Deji just a little bit through this footage, but if you guys watch me, you will know that I only nitpick guys that I expect the best out of. Deji's one of those guys. Boom, switch stance coming into range, and this is where I was going to talk about a little bit of the nitpick, right? So this is good. Nice feint afterward. That's good. That's good. Now, I'm not sure what preceded this, right? But Deji has come off of the ground with this switch in stance and this shift in angle, right? He's come completely off the ground here. You can barely see it, but those 2 feet are flying. Now, granted, whoever this sparring partner is not threatening him in the least bit, so he can kind of just do whatever he wants, which again speaks to the confidence he's gained through the Floyd fight and just in general continuing to box. But you don't want to see him change his level like this and be literally jumping. I mean, this is Dylan Dennis level angle switch, right? Where you come completely off the ground to switch there. I mean, yes, pro high level guys can get away with that. Mike Tyson did for years, but he wasn't jumping into the air like he was about to perform a kickflip, then switching an angle and landing, but it was more so gliding into range, right? That shift in his weight was always a glide. It was never a hot level change up in the air and then land and go again. It was never that, right? It wasn't, I think my fat ass just caused an earthquake in Orange County, but it wasn't that. It was more so a glide into range. And that's where, like I said, I would nitpick Deji here. And as he throws this uppercut, right? Boom, it's a good shot. And again, I've always said that I don't know that Deji's a natural lefty, but he looks really great throwing an uppercut out of orthodox. I would again just say, let's keep that chin and level down, right? Where he gets here and goes up to throw that uppercut. He can do that same thing by remaining chin down, switch the angle, boom, boom, and still throw that bad boy. So it's not boom like he's a superhero, but more so chin tucked, switch angle, bang, boom, still underneath, right? You're still giving that twist in the hip, still big time power, but if you miss, you're not putting yourself in a bad position defensively, where now if this guy is not turtled up and shelling, he's able to counter off with a left hand or maybe even an uppercut of his own, or able to circle out because you put too much into it and you're off balance of it. Going jab, both guys once again in range, good feint, level change, woo, again. So Deji goes first again here, right? Which I like. He goes first. Level change, boom. Nice feint, and then the jab, but off the jab, right? Moving to his right, gets under the return jab. Here comes the return. He's underneath it, right? That's good stuff. Like that. Little stuff, you know, but again, it shows the confidence and willingness to engage versus what he used to kind of do with stuff like, you know, someone that would attack like Alex or even Vinny Hacker. Anybody that would just attack him, he would be able to defend himself fairly well and be on the back foot and be able to move his head and change angles, but he wouldn't stay in the fire. There was not that confidence to say, I'm going to hit you, then I'm going to stay around to hit you more, and have the confidence in my defensive ability to translate it to my offense, make you miss, make you pay. This is kind of what we're starting to see with Deji, that he's now confident enough to be in there and one, hit you, make you miss, and then I would want to see a follow-up here where he makes him pay. That's the next step, right? Make him miss, boom, make him pay again. Nice big jab. Just watch that jab, just slow motion, man. Walking into range. Now you got to be careful here, right? Again, he's not in danger here, right? This sparring partner is not set up to catch Deji sleeping a bit. Deji's dictated from what I can see this entire spar. So when he does walk in on this guy, his hands go straight up, but he's not attacking. That's where Deji could get into trouble, where he's kind of relaxed, walking into range, and the guard's not up yet, or his feet aren't in the right position, and then he eats one of his own. But he goes first here, and this jab's nice, man. Boom, through the guard, big power, stiff jab. I mean, look at the head snap on that one. Bang, right? Solid jab, and he's not overthrown either. Boom, distribution of weight. He's not trying to really reach out and toss his jab out there. It's just walking in, boom, right? Sticking him with that. Good shot. Woo, he's getting loose. Deji getting loose here too, boom. Look at the arms starting to go. Hey, my man thought he was Conor McGregor with the shit. No, but again, this is the evolution of what Deji, I think, learned a little bit of in the Floyd fight, was just him seeing someone that was in front of him so confident to be able to play around a bit. Now, granted, Deji can't do this with everyone, but he's finding his own style, and the confidence maybe he gained from staying around in the Floyd fight, or maybe just that he saw from Floyd fighting him regardless, combined with the sparring sessions he continues to have and how much better he continues to get in training, is allowing him to be more free like this. He's not so worried about the camera being on him or how he looks or who he's letting down. He's just in there having fun. That's what I want to see from him, man. Boom. Boom. Woo, snappy jab. Something else that we're not seeing. Boom, stiff jab, right? But Deji's throwing a variety of different jabs. Watch this one. Boom, up jab from the hip. Instead of that big stiff jab we saw a second ago, bang, sticking that out. Now he's here. Goosey, pop. Nice little up jab, right? It's very cool to see him flow. That's what we're seeing here. He's flowing. Boom. Again, it's just sticking it out there. And again, you don't know the level of this sparring partner here, but not so much about that, right? We're watching Deji work with a guy that does seem to move like he understands boxing, or at least understands a little bit of it. He's doing a good job of just remaining himself. Boom. Throwing those jabs out, stiff, up jab from the hip. And he's doing this one out of orthodox, which is interesting. Boom, boom, double jab. Right hand to the body, yes sir. I would say one thing again though, right here when we watch Deji, he's fast, he's quick, he's got quick hands, he's flowing. Make sure we don't get a little stiff, right, in our lower body. Boom, boom, that's nice, that's nice. You start to see him reach a little bit, and that's the stiffness in the lower body, not everything moving as one, that's nice. But this one he starts to reach a little bit with, here comes that back foot off the ground. I understand he's doing this mostly because he's taking advantage of what it looks like to be an outmatched sparring partner in this case, but if this is someone that's able to counter him, especially a southpaw, and that foot comes off the ground and he's at an orthodox, he's doing that number, going Superman into that bitch, and that's obviously a step back underneath uppercut or a pivot out left hand down. Like there's a lot of things that Deji can get caught with. So you got to walk that fine line between not necessarily doing too much and also being yourself, having fun and staying loose, right? Disciplined flamboyance, controlled chaos, whatever you want to call it, that's the fine line where Deji needs to walk because he's athletic enough to do it, which I love, but there also has to be an awareness of, okay, if I don't get this shot and I'm styling on someone and all of a sudden things can turn around real quick, especially at this level. Boom, boom, right hand to the body, yes sir. And then you see him once again, both guys just kind of square up. But all in all, man, listen, there's a lot to see here from Deji that's just a different look than we've seen from him. A more aggressive, more confident Deji, and one that's so confident, again, could be from the Floyd fight, could be from a lot of things combined, that he's talking in there. And it's hard for me to play the audio because there's some copyright in there for some music that was used, but I'll see if I can't play this one part. Can't really hear it, but he says, I'm not looking, and he's just tagging him with jabs. He's styling on this guy. And again, I don't know the level of this dude he's sparring, but it all comes back to what I was talking about, confidence. There's a fine line for Deji, and he is definitely walking up to that line. He's not anywhere close to it. He's not over the line, cocky or anything like that. He's building confidence, and he's now displaying said confidence. I love that. The only thing I would say for him is just to make sure while displaying that, while showing off those skills, while doing all of that, gotta remain locked in. And no matter who it is standing there in front of us, we treat them like the people that are the most dangerous that we could potentially fight. And that brings me to some speculation that I want to talk about as to who Deji may be fighting, because he's sparring a southpaw here, and most of the time there's not a ton of gyms that have a ton of southpaws in them, and usually you're not recording sparring versus one of those southpaws unless you're working on things to use in a fight with another southpaw. And I'm not saying that's what Deji's doing, because the only other notable name we could talk about is Salt Poppy, and from what I've heard from Daly and what I've heard from Kenny sitting right next to him on commentary, they want Salt Poppy next, or at least at some point in the future. So that just leaves the question that we still don't really know about Deji. When and who is Deji fighting? It seems like there's really nobody that you can think of. I've brought out the possibility of Liam Payne, One Direction star. I don't think it's going to be some random opponent that doesn't have a big name, because Deji has proven he can garner big names. The Floyd Mayweather fight's the biggest example. I don't really have those answers, but one thing I do know is whoever Deji fights next, they have to be aware of his growing confidence. This is not the same guy that lost to Alex Wasabi. I don't even think this is the same guy that lost, quote unquote, to Floyd or beat Fuzi. There's a different level of awareness, confidence, and comfortability with what Deji has been showing week by week by week. And the cool thing is, he's not even in camp yet. So when an opponent gets announced, whoever that may be, orthodox, southpaw, whatever, best believe Deji will be ready and he will be confident. But you guys let me know down below, what do you think of Deji's new sparring footage? Whether it's the comfortability in there, the variety in his jab, what is your biggest takeaway? Because there's a lot there, but sometimes they leave us with more questions than answers. So what's next for Deji? Guess we'll find out.